Every single morning, your body is already making changes that can make fat loss either easier or harder. And surprisingly, the very first thing you drink can influence those changes. Now, I'm not saying a drink can magically burn visceral fat or belly fat, because it can't. But if your goal is to reduce visceral fat, there are 5 science-backed morning drinks that deserve a place in your routine. In this video, I'll share exactly what they are and explain how each one can support your goal of reducing visceral fat. If you're new here, I'm a certified nutritionist and I help people lose fat with simple science-backed nutrition. Let's start with one of the most controversial drinks in the fat loss world, apple cider vinegar. Some people say it helps with weight loss, while others say it's just hype. So, what does the science actually say? Apple cider vinegar contains a compound called acetic acid, and this is where most of its potential benefits come from. One of its most interesting effects is on blood sugar. When you have apple cider vinegar before a carbohydrate containing meal, research suggests it can reduce the rise in blood sugar that happens after eating. It may also improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body can respond to insulin more effectively. And this matters because poor insulin sensitivity is strongly linked to higher levels of visceral fat. But the effects don't stop there. Some human studies have found that regular apple cider vinegar consumption can lead to small reductions in body weight, waist circumference, and body fat. We are not talking about dramatic changes, but over time, even modest improvements can contribute to better metabolic health and fat loss. How to use it? A simple way to include it is to mix 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar into a large glass of water. You can drink it about 10 to 20 minutes before breakfast or before another carbohydrate containing meal. A few important precautions. Never drink apple cider vinegar straight from the bottle because it's highly acidic. It can damage your tooth enamel and irritate your throat. If you have acid reflux or take medication that affects your blood sugar, it's also worth speaking with your doctor before using it regularly. So, apple cider vinegar isn't a magic belly fat burner. Its value comes from its potential effects on blood sugar, insulin sensitivity, and weight management. Factors that matter when you're trying to reduce visceral fat. Now, let's move on to another simple drink that can give your morning routine a serious boost of fiber. The second drink is chia seed water. And the reason chia seeds deserve a place on this list isn't because they are some magical fat burning food. It's because they are one of the easiest ways to add a significant amount of fiber to your morning routine. Just 2 tablespoons of chia seeds provide around 10 grams of fiber. And when chia seeds come into contact with water, they absorb it and form a gel-like coating. These gels slows down digestion and helps you feel fuller for longer. That can be particularly useful when you're trying to lose body fat because it can make it easier to control how much you eat throughout the day. The fiber in chia seeds also slows the absorption of carbohydrates, which can help produce a more gradual rise in blood sugar after meal. And there is another interesting benefit. Some of that fiber reaches your large intestine where it's fermented by your gut bacteria. This produces compounds called short-chain fatty acids, which are involved in maintaining a healthy gut and supporting metabolic health. So, rather than thinking of chia seed water as a drink that burns visceral fat, think of it as an easy way to increase your fiber intake, support fullness, and improve the overall quality of your diet. How to make it? Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of chia seeds to about 250 to 300 ml of water. Let it sit for around 20 to 30 minutes or leave it overnight. You can add a squeeze of lemon for flavor, but there is no need to add sugar or honey. And if you are new to high fiber foods, start with 1 tablespoon rather than jumping straight to 2. Also, make sure you are drinking enough water throughout the day because increasing fiber without enough fluids can cause bloating or constipation. So if you are looking for a simple way to increase your fiber intake first thing in the morning, chia seed water is an easy option. But the next drink takes fiber to another level. It's one of the most concentrated sources of soluble fiber you can add to your diet, and its effects on blood sugar and cholesterol have been studied extensively. The third drink is Psyllium Husk water. If chia seeds are a convenient way to add fiber, Psyllium Husk is one of the most concentrated ways to add soluble fiber to your diet. Psyllium comes from the husk of the Plantago ovata seed, and when you mix it with water, it forms a thick gel. That gel is what makes psyllium particularly interesting. It slows the movement of food through your digestive system and can slow the absorption of carbohydrates. This can help produce a more controlled rise in blood sugar after a meal. But one of the biggest reasons psyllium stands out is its effects on satiety. Because it expands and forms the gel in your digestive tract, psyllium can help you feel fuller, which can make it easier to control your overall food intake throughout the day. And unlike chia, you don't need a large serving to get a meaningful amount of soluble fiber. Research on psyllium has found benefits for blood sugar control, cholesterol levels, and weight management, particularly when it's used consistently alongside a healthy diet. There is also an interesting connection with visceral fat. Psyllium doesn't selectively remove fat from around your organs, but by improving several markers of metabolic health and making calorie control easier, it can support the overall fat loss that ultimately reduce visceral fat. How to take it? Start with around 1 teaspoon of psyllium husk mixed into 250 to 300 ml of water. Stir it quickly and drink it immediately because it thickens within seconds. If it feels good on your stomach, you can slowly increase the amount. And there is one important rule with psyllium. Always take it with plenty of water. Taking a large amount of psyllium husk with too little fluid can cause choking or digestive problems. It's also a good idea to separate psyllium from medications because it can interfere with the absorption of some medicines. If you take medication regularly, check with your healthcare provider or pharmacist about the appropriate timing. So, if you want a simple morning drink that delivers a concentrated dose of soluble fiber and supports blood sugar, cholesterol, and weight management, psyllium is a strong option. But the next drink works through a completely different pathway. It combines caffeine with powerful plant compounds that have been studied for their effects on fat oxidation and metabolism. The fourth drink is matcha. Matcha comes from the same plant as green tea, but there is one major difference. With regular green tea, you steep the leaves in water and then throw the leaves away. With matcha, the leaves are ground into a fine powder, so you consume the entire leaf. That means you are getting a concentrated source of catechins, a group of antioxidants found in green tea. One of the most studied catechins is EGCG, and this is where matcha gets interesting for fat loss. Research suggests that green tea, catechins particularly when combined with caffeine, can increase fat oxidation, meaning your body uses more fat as a source of energy. Some research has also found that green tea consumption can produce modest improvements in body weight and waist circumference, although the effect isn't dramatic. Matcha also contains caffeine, which can temporarily increase energy expenditure and may improve exercise performance. So if you have matcha before a workout, the caffeine can help you feel more alert and potentially train with greater intensity. And there is one more compound worth mentioning, L-theanine. Matcha naturally contains L-theanine, an amino acid that can promote a more relaxed state while you are still getting the stimulating effects of caffeine. That's one reason some people find matcha gives them a smoother, more sustained energy boost compared with coffee. How to make it? Add around 1 teaspoon of matcha powder to a cup, add hot water, not boiling water, and whisk until it's smooth and frothy. You can drink it plain or add some unsweetened milk if you prefer a creamier version. Just be careful with what you add to it. A matcha latte loaded with sugar, flavored syrups, and high-calorie creamers is a very different drink from a plain matcha. And because matcha contains caffeine, avoid drinking large amounts late in the day if it affects your sleep. So, matcha isn't a magic visceral fat burner. What makes it useful is the combination of EGCG, caffeine, and other plant compounds that can support fat oxidation and metabolic health. And now we come to the final drink, the simplest one on this entire list and one that has probably been part of your morning routine for years. The fifth drink is black coffee. Coffee is one of the most widely studied sources of caffeine. Caffeine has several effects that are relevant to fat loss. When you consume caffeine, it stimulates your nervous system and temporarily increases energy expenditure, meaning your body burns slightly more calories. It can also increase fat oxidation, encouraging your body to use more stored fat for energy. But there is another reason I like coffee for a fat loss routine. Exercise performance. Having caffeine before a workout can increase alertness, make exercise feel easier, and help you exercise at a higher intensity. That can be especially useful if you are doing resistance training or cardio consistently, because better training over time can help you preserve muscle while losing body fat. And there is some interesting observational research linking regular coffee consumption with lower levels of visceral fat. Although this doesn't prove that coffee itself causes the reduction. So again, we are not talking about a drink that directly targets the fat around your organs. The benefit comes from the combination of caffeine's effects on energy expenditure, fat oxidation, and physical performance, which can support the overall fat loss process. How to drink it? The simplest option is plain black coffee. You can have it in the morning or around 30 to 60 minutes before exercise if you are using it for a workout boost. If you don't enjoy it completely black, a small amount of milk is fine. The bigger issue is what you add to it. Large amounts of sugar, flavored syrups, cream or whipped cream can turn a low calorie drink into a surprisingly high calorie one. And more caffeine isn't better. For most healthy adults, up to around 400 mg of caffeine per day is generally considered the upper amount that's unlikely to cause safety concerns, although individual tolerance varies. If coffee makes you anxious, gives you a racing heart, or interferes with your sleep, reduce your intake. Because getting enough quality sleep is also important for maintaining healthy appetite regulation and metabolic health. So if you already drink coffee, you don't necessarily need to give it up because you are trying to lose visceral fat. Just keep it simple. Watch the addition and use the caffeine strategically. So those are the 5 morning drinks that can support your goal of reducing visceral fat. Apple cider vinegar for its potential effects on blood sugar response and insulin sensitivity, chia seed water for an easy boost of fiber and its effects on fullness and gut health, psyllium husk water for concentrated soluble fiber and its benefits for metabolic health, matcha for its combination of EGCG and caffeine which can support fat oxidation, and black coffee for caffeine's effects on energy expenditure, fat oxidation and exercise performance. But remember, the most important point from this entire video, no drink or food can specifically target belly fat or visceral fat. These drinks don't work by magically attacking the fat around your organs. Instead, they can support some of the factors involved in healthy fat loss, and when you consistently lose overall body fat, visceral fat comes down too. So choose the drink that fits your routine. Keep your overall diet in check, stay active and give it time. Because when it comes to visceral fat, consistency will always beat a miracle drink. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more science-packed nutrition and fat loss tips. And let me know in the comments which of these 5 drinks are you going to try first. I'll see you in the next one.